It's time for a little bit of science. I'm Will Grant, an Associate Professor in Science Communication at the Australian National University.
And I'm Rod Lamberts. I'm a 30-year science communication veteran with the mind of a teenage boy.
And today, well, we've been at the Beach Large Hadron Collider.
Yeah, drinking in swimming cocktails. In fact, I'm still there. I don't know where you are.
Of isotopes and science and stuff like that. So rather than giving you our regular pile of science,
We've saved you something delicious. We've been squirreling away little snippets throughout the millennium, and you're going to get a bunch of those right now. It's going to be fab.
enjoy.
Metrics, right? Measurement, indicators of one thing meaning something else, giving us ideas. There are a lot of them. They're weird. Some of them are better. Some of them are worse.
No, they're all perfect.
They're all perfect, is what I meant to say.
Yeah, they're all lovely.
Related to this, though, and you know this, I know you know this, but one person listening might not. Correlation doesn't equal causation.
Oh, okay.
We can see two things happening at the same time. That doesn't mean one causes the other. Also, when you think something's telling you something, giving you an indicator, it might not be. Other times, you might look at unrelated variables and suddenly think there is a connection between these. So there's strange things going on with metrics. So there's a classic story, and we talked about this in an old Wholesome Show episode, the classic story from Target. Do you remember this, where some people did a bunch of analyses on what different people were buying and the characteristics of those people.
Yep.
And one of the subcategories that became famous was women who were, once they'd had babies, they tracked back their buying histories of the sorts of things they buy and when they bought them.
Yeah.
They went, okay, there's a bit of a profile
Cots.
here.
Nursery gear.
Got earlier.
No, I get it.
The classic story was when a man got very angry that Target kept sending his daughter brochures with stuff about, I don't know, nipple clamps and cots or whatever babies. Is that what they're called? Breast smoother. Anyway, he basically said,
Take him anyway, man.
why the hell are you sending my daughter stuff about pregnancies, my teenage daughter? That's ridiculous. And that's when she had to go, Daddy, actually, I'm pregnant. So this became a big deal. Because what they noticed was shoppers who basically are getting towards pregnancy would buy lots and lots of particular kinds of lotions or an abundance of certain minerals, calcium, magnesium and stuff. It was a bit of a giveaway.
Yeah.
So it was an unusual indicator. So indirect measures can be quite useful, and they can also be a little bit scary.
What do you got for me?
Well, you've got to be clever about it, right? So, like, if you want to predict when the US is aware of or about to launch an invasion or a military strike, where would you look? Where would you look? You've seen the story?
Look, I've heard rumours. I've heard rumours that is this about pizza?
It is about pizza. Not only, but mostly. So the clue is really, there's a multitude of fast food restaurants in the Pentagon complex, but no pizza.
Oh, really?
Apparently.
They don't. I mean, so hang on. So
It's mad.
I assume it's a big office building.
Yeah.
And there's going to be like a food court sort of thing
you've got
somewhere.
your Taco Bell, you've got your hamburger.
And they don't have pizza? Like, pizza is a fairly common
would have thought.
form of fast food.
According to at least some of the sources that you will see in our show notes, no pizza. So according to, therefore, the Pentagon Pizza Report on Twitter, X, whatever, spikes in pizza orders and deliveries tend to go up around the Pentagon when big things are going on. So, for example, June 12 and 13 this year. So Israel planned to attack Iran. About an hour before, this is all top secret, but about an hour before, nearly all the pizza establishments near the Pentagon experienced huge surges in deliveries.
That's great.
Like it went off. And so they're like, there's something going on at the Pentagon. And an hour before the explosions first started, they started to, again, track these particular and strange late-night activities around these outlets. They also noted another indicator, which is not related to pizza. 3 hours later, a gay bar near the Pentagon reported abnormally low traffic for a Thursday night. So apparently when the gay bar near the Pentagon drops...
Let's just assume it's a bar as well.
No, but they particularly emphasised the gay bar for some reason.
Oh, okay.
No other information.
Let's assume there's other bars that have dropped in.
Possibly, but for some reason that's the one they note.
Okay.
Because they're just being inclusive.
Oh, that's good.
So, and if you want to cross-reference, is it just a coincidence? So this is back to correlation. It just so happened an hour before the strike, the spike went up, etc. Who knows? Maybe.
Well, no, I mean, it clearly is a correlation, and it's a correlation that has some really strong justification to be causative, but not guaranteed.
Not
because you
guaranteed.
could imagine Trump says, okay, let's put on a big parade tomorrow.
Yeah.
And they're like, and you have to do it. Then people are like, oh, order some pizzas. There's a big job to do.
Yeah.
So it's not inherently that they're going to war.
Not necessarily, or
but in all
monitoring
likelihood,
strikes.
In all likelihood.
Well, there's been other times too. This is what's good about it. So pizza deliveries, not so necessarily gay bars, pizza deliveries to the Pentagon doubled right before the US invasion of Panama in 89. They surged again in 91 before Desert Storm went off. And during Israel's missile strikes in 2024 on Iran, it said also that pizza deliveries went off. Did it monitor other times pizza deliveries went off? That I don't know.
Well, no, there's a chunk of, okay, at least, the US recent bombing in Iran was foreshadowed by Israel's efforts and blah, blah, blah. And it wasn't a giant military buildup. But, the US invasion of say, Iraq in the Gulf War.
You think it was building for a while?
I think there were some indicators. I think it wasn't,
But this most recent one, I think interesting about that was literally about an hour before Mike Huckabee, who's the US ambassador in Jerusalem now, he tweeted, "At our embassy in Jerusalem and closely monitoring the situation, we'll remain here all night, pray for peace in Jerusalem." So the timing is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
He knew, obviously, he got the heads up, as obviously people in the Pentagon did. So there may be something to it.
I think the broader point here is that no matter how secret we might aim to be, we leave data traces all the time.
Everywhere.
We leave data, and classic case was was it Strava? I think it was one of the running app. Sort of, you track your running route or something like that, and that was used to identify US bases because people are like tracking their running, and the GPS is going, and you can see a clear path of people running around,
and there's nothing else there.
This is the point of science that unusual data traces can be found all over the place, and they pop up weirdly years and years later. So,
I honestly, I think it's actually pretty awesome.
I think we should always be skeptical that correlation doesn't equal causation. But we've got to remember a whole bunch of science relies on correlations. Like we don't have causative evidence for a lot of public health stuff.
And associations do matter.
Yeah.
Also, you're right with public health. I mean, the best you can do is measure as much of it as possible, and the more different examples of it you measure, the more you see the correlation, the closer you get to going, I think something's affecting something else here. Epidemiologist, you know that.
This one is just for the kids out there. I thought that you would be very happy to know something that science has provided.
For our 6-year-old listeners?
6 to...
119.
Well, this particular study was done with kids aged 9 to 10, but let's assume it parallels for older and younger kids to some extent.
Okay.
Basically, a whole bunch of kids, and they were 9 and 10 years old, and they compared whether they watched a bunch of TV or online videos or played video games or sort of socialised over the internet. And then 2 years later, they looked at their IQ.
Oh, and they didn't have one.
the ones where, so comparing TV watching, internet use, and video games.
I know who's the smartest.
Who's the smartest?
TV watchers. Because that's me. I watched a lot of TV as a child because there wasn't any of the other options.
Do you want to guess again?
Not TV watchers.
Not TV watchers, but narrowed it down. Which ones?
Games.
Yeah, it's video games.
Yeah.
The video games make the kids smarter.
Because of your social skills that you develop from video games.
I don't know. I feel like the test is...
Maybe leans towards hand-eye coordination.
Like the IQ test based on playing a video game.
So how do they get good at it? Oh, yeah, they've done the test 2,000 times a week.
They're all sitting there playing IQ tests. Like it's Mario does an IQ test.
Oh, God, the Wechsler Q. Fantastic.
So anyway, kids, occasionally a little bit of science. We will give kid-based science, but the show itself is not kid-based, so don't listen to us.
Just this segment.
We'll occasionally do that. But video games make you smarter, but a lot of other problems too.
Look, we love stats, right? We love stats.
Counting is the best.
Yep, counting, crunching, whatever. I came across this. I mean, some things I do in my day job for decades have had to do with, surveys and stuff. And there's this mob called the Edelman Trust. You've probably heard of them. I mean, you will, not others. You haven't heard of them?
Yeah, I have. But tell me because, Yeah.
But I mean, a lot of people probably haven't, but they do what they call the Edelman Trust Barometer, and they've done this giant international survey this is the 25th year.
Oh, yeah.
This year is the 25th year. So they do this online survey. They do 28 countries, which isn't bad. They, on average, about 1,100 people per country. do respond, which is not freaking bad. And Australia is, of course, one of them. So there's just a bunch of things that I found interesting. If you want to download it, the Edelman Trust Barometer, you can go and get a full global report. You can go and download country-specific
trust in
stuff.
what?
This is what's interesting. So they talk about, there's a generic kind of trust in government one, and this is the one that caught my eye because that was the top level thing. And it says, this chart says, elections fail to improve trust. I thought, what? And what they really mean is when they do a comparison of countries that have certain kinds of political systems over others, and they ask them about their trust in government. And it turns out the people who have the highest trust in government are countries like China, Saudi Arabia, Nigeria, Singapore, etc. So let's say, what governments that,
Singapore has elections.
They do, but they have a government that has strong opinions about how people should behave. Strong, very enforceable opinions. So I just thought it was interesting. It's very, very clear that basically the countries that don't have a strong influence on their government.
Can I just ask there that how honestly do you feel people in China are able to answer a question, how much do you trust the government? Because I feel like all of our Chinese listeners will have different sorts of opinions on this, but I suspect there might be some countries where if the government, if there's a survey, how much do you trust the government?
Yeah. Shitloads.
Love them.
Oh my God, with everything I've ever thought, believed, owned, loved or valued. Yeah, I mean, straight away I look at that and I think, there's something to be said here. But what's more interesting, I think, is they've got this big thing about grievances, not the Chinese, this barometer. So they check people. There's this composite score of senses of grievance against business, government and the rich. So a combined grievance score. And Australia, pretty grievancy.
Are we grievancy?
We're pretty grievancy.
I thought we were chill.
No, okay, we're around the middle of the 28 countries in grievances. We're a bit above South Korea and a bit below whatever that blurry word is, Canada.
So we have more grievances than South Korea?
We do. I know.
Sorry to our South Korean listeners, but I did not historically think of you as the chillest country.
If I remember my own notes correctly, and I probably don't, there's an interesting thing about South Korea in a moment. The top of the grievance list, have a guess.
United States of America.
No.
Oh.
Lesotho. It starts with S. Saturn. Spain.
What? Really?
The Spanish are very grieved. Then Nigeria, South Africa, UK, and down it goes. Least and grieved, Singapore for some reason.
Oh, okay.
But again, the question is, the extent to which these people are reporting honestly. In Australia, 6 out of 10 people hold grievances against business, government, and the rich. So that's not bad. 62% of us are like, yeah, I've got a pretty reasonable grievance against this combined, the man, the people, the bastards. And then they start to digress into all these other measures. And one of the ones I enjoyed, I'm just cherry picking stuff that fascinated me. Australia only trusts companies that are headquartered in the 3 countries in which Australians will trust a company depending on where its headquarters are.
All right.
Go on. Guess one. One country of the 3.
Australia?
No.
Okay. Japan.
Yes.
Yeah, good.
Japan is one.
No, we trust Japanese companies.
We do.
We love them. They're great.
Yeah. 2 others.
Okay. So can we do South Korea in that sense?
You can. It's wrong, but you can. Okay. Stay Commonwealth.
Commonwealth.
Yeah.
We don't trust New Zealand companies. Canadian companies.
Yes, Canadians.
Yeah, we trust a Canadian company.
And the origins of the Commonwealth.
Yeah, we are required to trust the United Kingdom.
It's in the national anthem.
One must trust the mother country.
We trust the mother's companies and all their missives.
That was beautiful.
When we get to industry sectors, so like healthcare versus automobiles, airlines, etc., Australians have a trust level. So we're talking about distrust, neutral, or reasonable trust levels. There are 17 industries represented. 10 of them we trust quite nicely, and 3 we really don't. The ones we don't trust.
Mining companies.
One of them's energy, so that's not unrelated.
Okay.
Because I don't think it means solar power, but you never know.
No. Pharmaceuticals.
No, not in there though.
We trust pharmaceuticals.
Well, they didn't break it down as pharmaceuticals. There's healthcare, but that's the top trusted.
Yeah. Okay. Hospitals. We like them.
The lowest. Social media organisations.
Yeah, well. Look, yeah, see, I trust them. I just don't think their values are aligned with us. Like, I know they're gonna operate in orientation to their values. They're just very different.
Not like us. They wouldn't return the treasure if they found it on someone else's land.
Exactly. No, they would not.
But yeah, so the top trust is healthcare, then education, then food and beverage.
We trust.
But you kind of, that makes
I trust
sense
our
to
food
me.
and beverage
Well, you have to,
producers.
because otherwise strangers are handing you food.
No, Australia has a historically, globally, world-leading, beautiful food and beverage industry.
We do. Professions and stuff. So you've got things like journalists, CEOs, citizens of my country, my neighbours, teachers.
We put my neighbours with CEOs.
This is just a list of people in order of whether you trust them or not. Comparison. Who do we trust more than institutional leaders? Journalists are at the bottom of the pile.
Yep.
CEOs are right down there.
We're podcasters.
Top.
Nice.
In a different survey. The top of the pile, which is relevant to us, scientists. Most trusted.
There you go.
Scientists.
That's nice.
Then teachers.
Well.
And then my neighbours. These people have not met my neighbours. My neighbours, who are definitely not listening to this podcast, are not my favourite humans. But so they've got this weird little blend of stuff. But the things, let's get into the last couple that I think are kind of scary. I mean, this survey covers wild array of things. This one is entitled "Our Future in Peril. We Lack Optimism for the Next Generation." So turn that into a question. They asked the 28 countries the extent to which people lack optimism. Mm-hmm. We really lack optimism.
Us in Australia?
Yeah. The only people who lack it less, and there ain't many, Italy, the Netherlands, Japan, France, and Germany, which I find surprising. And super top, who don't lack optimism in the next generation, not surprisingly, guess a country?
Botswana.
No. So close, though.
What?
Saudi Arabia.
Oh.
They're quite optimistic about the next generation. Good. Yeah, because how are your kids going to go? Well, they're going to be loaded. That much I know. It fascinates me. And the only other one I'll pull out because I thought it was interesting was the extent to which people see hostile activism as a viable means to drive change.
What do we mean by hostile activism?
Like actually breaking shit, threatening or committing violence, intentionally spreading disinformation, attacking people online, and damaging public or private property. This is the cluster of things they asked. When we're talking young folk, 1 in 2 are okay with it.
Are okay.
1 in 2 from 18 to 34.
This is Australia or
Australia. 1 in 2 18 to 34-year-olds are like, if we really want to drive change, hostile activism, the things I just listed, are cool. Overall, 31% of us go, yeah, no, fair enough. And it's amazing. But this pushes my buttons because, as you know, and maybe a couple of people who listen know, I've done a lot of surveys in my time, some of them national, etc. Yeah. I've messed around with surveys. And they always find interesting things.
Yes.
And the one I did that was the largest found that, Australians apparently prefer information or news about science and technology versus sport.
They do, listener.
Yeah. And every time I've done this survey, I did over, 10 years or something, one of the ones, you involved in the first one, the survey is robust. The way we asked people questions was clear. And every time I read it, I'm like, it's bullshit. It's just got to be bullshit. But it's methodologically absolutely sound. And so I always think, what are we dealing with?
What I want is, I want to go back in time with these surveys. Because all fine to do it now, and you can tell some interesting stories. But I want to know, like...
So I see one problem with that.
Yeah, yes. But, in the lead up to whatever, a revolution or a war or something like that, I want to know... What were their things like? Can you see in before the Russian Revolution
preemptive patterns?
Is there spiking in? I'm happy to use violence. Does that?
It would be interesting, yeah. And honestly, right now, with apologies to the Edelman Trust, it mostly feels like interesting chat points and clickbait to me because. Like you said, when you ask the Chinese, how much do you trust your government? They're like, well, someone's listening.
Or the Spanish are the most grieved.
Aggrieved.
Like, how do we really know? Like, I mean, are they just more likely to answer that question in a certain sort of way?
Well, it's a cluster question. Like, you can dig in. If you click onto the Edelman Barometer, you can dive into their data. You can get long-form reports. You can do all that stuff if you so choose. So you can pull apart the methods if you want to. I didn't because I didn't want to. But... yeah, it brings up bigger issues of what are these things worth? I mean, the one thing I've always said to myself and to students and when I was doing media shit on interviews, they have strong rhetorical sway. They're very appealing. Yeah. They're very rhetorically persuasive. Are they good? Are they right? Are they useful? I don't know.
Well, that was your little bit of science for the week.
Your holiday edition, your special by the pool wearing a bikini edition.
But because you're on holiday, you know that you still have the power to give us the rating that you need to give us.
Yeah, 7 stars on every app, even things that don't do podcasts.
Yeah, go out there and rate it on like a recipe app.
And Uber and Yelp. Is it Yelp still a thing?
I think so.
I don't know. I'm at a restaurant.
And listener, if you've got some topics that you want us to explore,
tell Will.
How would we tell Will?
His number is 0405.
Not like that.
Oh, cheers at alittlebittofscience.com.au.
Do that. We want your stories.
Yeah, we want to hear from you.
Love you, listener. Enjoy the pinas colada.
Oh, and the
Pina colada.
Pina coladia
Pina coladia.
of the clay.
Pina coladi.